formal graduation ends in the college room, but subconscious graduation ends only with life.
Ma'am.
I would like to do one experiment with all of you today, and I'm going to share the results towards the end of my talk. Is that okay with you? Thank you. Would you all mind getting up, stand up from the chair for a moment, please? Close your eyes. I'll play music in the background. Think about your goal, which you wish to achieve in next 90 days with higher intensity. Can we have the music, please? Thank you. How many of you have liked the music? Oh, so many hands. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Do I look like a taxi driver? No, right? I'm a school dropout. I have been a taxi driver too. My rock bottom became a solid foundation in my life to rebuild my life. I don't have rich parents, no handouts, no favors, straight hustle all day and every day. I remember there were times when I wanted to finish my life. Thank God I stuck around. Had I left early, I would have missed a lot of adventure, life of magic, relationships, success and fame I had never dreamed of before. In the year 2001, a passenger working as a director for a top multinational company calls me, and I was a taxi driver at that time, and he shouted, "Why this taxi is not clean?" I said, "Mr. Puri, I just did it 2 hours back, but said there is so much dust over here, sir, due to stormy weather." Mr. Puri slapped me very hard on my face. That changed everything for me. I started doing my math. I immediately decided I'm not going to be a taxi driver ever in my life. I started with my studies through correspondence alongside my jobs. But I hate our formal education system, because most of the times it needs revamping. Your education is of no use unless put into action. Education today is some stuff on a piece of paper. Education is all about cramming kids to become something that they're not. In real sense, education is not about marks and examinations. It's about embracing your life. It's about loving what you do. It's about living with the gifts you're born with. It's about creating an impact in the world. This is the purpose of real education. Real education is not about anything else other than your brain, which works for your success with subconscious graduation. It is about the super powerful neuron machine which feels, realize, and work upon with earnest efforts. I went into depression for 6 months. I stopped talking to anyone. I used to lock myself in the room, and I used to think only that life is over. Then one fine day, one of my school friends called me, and I was suffering from fever that time, and he made a surprise visit that day. I shared a bit about what I was going through, and he shared about a book, and the name of the book was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho de Souza. I ordered that book, read that book, and felt better. The second book I read that time was The Power by Rhonda Byrne. That deeply influenced me to make a comeback in my life. I started reading more and more books, and I ended up reading more than 200 self-help books in the next 2 years. I used to read a lot of English books and listen to a lot of music. I started feeling better, and I came out of depression. Sometimes you need to change the words in your conversation, which will help you to have paradigm shift in your mind. Never say no one likes me. Just say there is no one like me. For last so many years, I tried to figure out what I have done to myself to become a full-time speaker, author, and coach. And right now I'm working in the area of personal growth and human development. In the year 2013, I was working for a private bank as a senior manager, and I weighed 240 pounds, right now 160. I was newly married with a newborn, and I did not expect much from life. One fine day at my family's gathering, one of my wife's cousins taunted me for my body fat. That hit me like a tornado. I started getting up early in the morning for my fitness workouts and changed my lifestyle, changed my diet patterns completely. I failed more than 15 times before I finally lost 110 pounds. From 240 pounds, I reached 130 pounds. I got fanatic with bodybuilding. I became a fitness physique model, and I started understanding the psychology between body and mind. And the psychology is a gift, free, available to each one of you here. And the psychology is subconscious graduation. It helps an individual to reach desired goals and results in quick time. Subconscious graduation is the real science happening in human brain. And it has done many wonders for me. And the reason I'm standing here in front of you today is because I've realized the power inside me, and I started taking that power for my own benefits. Let me tell you about a very interesting research which may blow your mind. In the year 2007, the researchers at Oxford University did some research on newborn babies, and what they found was astonishing. The average adult has 41% less neurons than an average newborn. So if that's true, then why do adults are more smarter and skilled? It is because of synaptic pruning, which happens when we age. The synapses are the functions in the neurons of our brain. The brain automatically automatically prunes away the less used neurons and adapts the neurons used more frequently. Consider this. If you play guitar for a few years, the brain strengthens those synapses and activates the musical neurons. The more you play guitar, the more you will become expert at it. It is a biological change which leads to skill development. And during this period, subconscious graduation happens.
Slide आ रही है ना?
But why is our subconscious mind considered more powerful?
Slide दिख रही है साहब? पक्का?
Our brain has total 100 billion neurons. Our conscious mind, which is the cerebrum, has 70 billion neurons, and cerebellum, which is the subconscious mind, has 30 billion neurons. Actually, the Purkinje cells in the synapses has 80,000 plus synapses compared to very few synapses in the conscious mind. Now consider this. When you reach home after a long drive, suddenly you started realizing, well, I was lost in some world of thoughts, but then who drove my car? This happens because of subconscious graduation. Your subconscious mind, due to the excess of synapses, takes over the charge from the conscious mind, and this process is known as brain autopiloting, and that's indeed a blessing. Due to subconscious mind, a human being is considered more powerful than artificial intelligence will always be. Artificial intelligence is just an aid to human beings. The fundamental principles of subconscious graduation can be learned from the legendary tales of our grandparents, who always tells us to focus on one single goal, one single profession. Let it be small or big, and start working on it. If there's only one single thing which I have learned in my profession of coaching and training, is mastering the fundamentals. I would like to show you a few success principles of subconscious graduation which have worked for me. The first principle is improvise free value. Start giving value in your profession free of cost to the people you know, because giving starts the receiving process by the universe. I started sharing positive thoughts with people on Facebook and WhatsApp, and today I have 100,000 followers on social media. The next is numerous affirmations. Use as much affirmations as you want to strengthen yourself. Use the thoughts, use the lines and the words which can resonate with your thought process, and apply it for minimum 4 weeks to see a dramatic change. Don't know, but it works. Third principle, stick to your goals. Goal cards. This is my goal card. I have pasted the picture of my goal which I wish to achieve, and I have written the goal here with the exact date and time by when I want to achieve it. It helps you in retention of your purpose, and it makes you feel more focused. The next principle is pick a few pictures. I remember when I was preparing for my fitness bodybuilding, I used to watch a lot of pictures. I used to work out 6 to 8 hours a day, and I used to watch a lot of pictures because I wanted to attract a physique likewise. And I did end up making a one as per my body composition. Seeing pictures affects your behavior, feelings, and overall energy. The next principle is infinite repetition. I recently finished a challenge of getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning for 66 days. If you want to master any skill, start with repetitions. Routine of informational talks. Attend or watch informational and inspirational talks. For the last 4 years, I watch or attend one talk average per day to get guidance to achieve my goals. You can also come and attend live event like TEDx here, or you can watch the talks on YouTube, it's free. Execute writing. I started writing tweets and blogs. Many researchers have proven that writing influences your personal growth and broadens your subconscious. I finished my book like this and I became a best-selling author. 2 years back, my father was diagnosed with brain hemorrhage and now has recovered 70%. One fine day during a casual chat, I asked my dad, "What do you expect from life?" And he said only one thing, "Son, do publish my writings even if I am no more in this world." I got touched. And 7th of this month, we have published his book in the market at the age of 71. So my dad became the author at the age of 71. And recently, my daughter has also become one of the youngest published author in India. So my dad has written the book at the age of 71, myself at the age of 34, and my daughter at the age of 8. We are a family of 3-generation authors. If we can do it, so can you. Age is just a number. Now remember, I shared an experiment with all of you. The time has come to share the result with all of you. Would you all mind stand up for a moment? Close your eyes. Just relax and enjoy the music. Can we have the music, please? Open your eyes. How many of you have seen the picture of the exact goal when we started the music today for the first time? I can see so many hands. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. You'll be seated. Through this experiment, I wanted to prove to all of you that even if you play a music of your favorite choice, which can increase the dopamine brain chemical in your brain, you don't really have to remember your goal. All you need to do is just play the music and immediately the picture of your goal will pop up through your subconscious mind. The principles that I've shared have given me significant results, and it's not a joke. It is high time we should start teaching everyone about subconscious graduation, which can help everyone to achieve goals and live the life they want to. Because it will lead to self-love, prosperity, higher commitment, better focus, exponential GDP growth for the respective country. Generation after generation, there have been many failures who have not given up and became the biggest success in the history of the world. And if I can win the battle, anyone can. Whom do you want to remain? A formal education graduate or a subconscious graduate? I leave this to each one of you, because subconscious graduation, formal graduation ends in the college room, and subconscious graduation ends only with life. And that's the idea. Word spread. Thank you.